The following production is brought to you by the Talkin' Buds Leaf Show.
Talkin' Buds Leaf Show Game 4 post-game edition in the books. If anyone ever asks you why being a fan of this franchise takes years off your life, show them, sit them down, and make them watch that hockey game that we just watched. I was ready to come on here after the second period and rip into that team for starting the game the way they started it tonight. Just a brutal first period, outworked all over the ice. A moderately better second period, but still outworked for the most part. Then in the third period, the team we've been waiting to show up in Tampa showed up, erased a 3-goal deficit, and then Alex Kerfoots wins it in overtime. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I have the worst takes in sports history. I don't even know. Like, we were ready to. I was ready to
spaz. I was spazzing at the end of that second period. Spazzing.
Like you said, to come on here and to start getting pissed off, upset, ripping into people for not showing up and not playing well. I know game 3, they won an improbable hockey game. But, you know, sometimes a team can get lucky, and you're watching that game through the first 2 periods and even 10 minutes into the second or into the third, and people are texting me. Everyone's texting me that I know, being like, this, like, everyone looks scared. This is no good. And, like, what did I just watch again? 2 straight games of being absolutely floored. Like, what just happened?
I know. It's unbelievable.
I couldn't react.
I know.
Like, we were so checked out because of the 4-1 lead. And when do you ever see this team ever come back from a 4-1 deficit?
I was ready to pack it in. I was ready to come on here, and I was going to rip into everybody for the effort. I was going to rip into getting dominated in the neutral zone. I was going to go at Sheldon Keefe for overthinking and getting outcoached again. And then, I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised. Keep an eye on Twitter here. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody stood up in the dressing room between the second and third period and said something, because they came out and they looked like a completely different hockey team. I think Tampa thought that they had that game wrapped up and took their foot off the gas a little bit. But man, oh man, just they have their foot on the throat of the Tampa Bay Lightning right now.
I mean, you say foot on the throats, but I don't want to bring up what happened in the bubble to not get too ahead of ourselves. But let's just get the obvious out of the way, in my opinion, and that is winning 2 hockey games, not one, after game 3, not coming out and saying that we don't win hockey games like that. And that was just being down 1 goal. Yeah, they got dominated, whatever, but that was 1 goal. You were just 1 lucky bounce away from tying that hockey game, and you did it, and you won it in overtime. But doing what other teams have done to you, a la Boston Bruins, 3 goals down.
It was 4-1 is trending in Canada right now.
With 10 minutes left in the third period is borderline shocking. And for people who have been fans of this team, for people like you and me have been doing this podcast for 5-6 years, are just used to a certain result in these type of games. And I am just last podcast episode, I said I was shocked. This is, I don't even know. What's the word above shocked? What is it? I don't know, because that's what I am right now. I don't even know what to think or say or what take I should have, because I was ready to just punch every player in the face verbally. And now it's just, what just happened? I have no idea.
This organization has an opportunity. This group of players has an opportunity now after that win. You just broke the Tampa Bay Lightning spirit. They were up 4-1. They were dominating that game. You marched all the way back And they're sitting around. John Cooper said after game 3, he was like, we weren't upset. We weren't sad. We were pissed off. They're all sitting in that Tampa Bay dressing room right now, looking around at each other going, we just blew a 3-goal lead, and now we're down 3-1 in the series, heading back to Toronto when the Lightning have been a far worse team on the road this year than they have been at home. I hope these guys, I hope that they ride this momentum wave that they're currently on, and they understand this team is on the ropes after that. Like, you land the knockout punch. You have the chance to land the knockout punch on Thursday. Land the knockout punch. Let's go.
And this is where you don't want to look stupid, right? Because they've been up 3-1. They blew it. Last year, they're up 3-2. They were at a point in game 6 where they could have won that game, and they didn't. But I think I don't want to get too ahead of myself because we just know what happens. But the biggest difference in this series is just staring at you in the face, punching you right in the face, is just 2 games that they don't win that they win. Like I don't even know. We come on here, we give our opinions, we watch the games, but how for someone who's so used to a certain result year after year, and the way we felt after the second period and halfway through the third, for them to just win that hockey game was just my expertise is out the window. The fandom has come to the forefront, and it's just unbelievable how they're in this position. It's unbelievable.
I want to give Auston Matthews his due, because I was sitting there and I was saying to myself, you know what? Like, this guy, I wasn't just talking about him specifically. I was talking about the core, and I was like, these guys, their legacy is going to be that, they don't show up when the team needs them the most. And Auston Matthews came out to start that third period, and he was way more effective than he had been all game long, and he gets 2 huge goals for them, and then he's in on the forecheck on other offensive opportunities. He had a couple chances in overtime. I'm going to give the guy props, man. That is what we have been waiting for, the level, because everyone has always thought this about him, that there's another level that he can get to in the postseason like this, and that he got there in the third period of this game. Huge reason why they were able to come back. I almost don't know what to say. I'm sitting here, my heart is racing. Normally you and I come on here and we're kind of composed and we thought about what we were going to say and whatever. No, we are freewheeling right now, ladies and gentlemen. We are riding an emotional high after watching them win that game in overtime. Alex Kerfoot, of all guys, getting the game-winning goal.
I was punching Alex Kerfoot in the gut all game verbally, being like, this guy, yeah, he's got some foot speed, but he's not doing anything out there, and he just puts himself in a good spot in front of the net. And that just, the thing I liked about this comeback is they tied the game in game 3. They got dominated second and third. They tie the game. They go into OT. They get dominated. What I liked about this game is at some point in the third period, when Matthews scored that first goal for the comeback, they took over the game at that point.
Yes.
Even in overtime, Nylander drives to the net, another guy who I was ready to throw a spaz on, whether you like it or not, takes a penalty. The power play didn't look great tonight, and boom, the power play capitalizes, what we've been talking about all year. Yeah, they're first. Yeah, they're second. Yeah, they're third in the league in power play percentage, but when it comes to clutch power plays, they don't get it done, and a clutch power play gets it done in overtime. But where do we draw the line? Obviously, this is after the game, post game.
No.
Really excited.
No. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to look. That was an incredible comeback. We are not going to look into the past. We're going to look forward into the future. And we're going to say, like I was ranting about a few minutes ago, you have your opponent on the ropes. We've seen Brendan Shanahan hold press conferences talking about killer instinct. You have your opponent on the ropes. You just kicked the Lightning in the balls.
Yeah, this game was more of a kick in the balls than the other one.
You just kicked the Lightning in the balls. No more taking periods off. No more slow starts. I think Sheldon, the biggest takeaway that the coaching staff needs to have from this game, from these 2 games in Tampa, quite frankly, is for a large chunk of that game, they got dominated in the neutral zone. And they really, really struggle getting the puck out of their own end. They have to look at a potential solve for that. I do think you've got 2 puck-moving defensemen sitting up in the press box. That's something you should explore. That's not Sheldon Keefe's MO to just do that, so I don't think he's going to. But if you're going to get this done on Thursday, the neutral zone struggles have to be fixed and addressed. Yeah. That's my biggest, watching that tonight, it was overwhelming jumping off the screen how much from the first two and a half periods the Lightning were dominating play in the neutral zone.
Well, it's interesting. I think the way they dominate in the neutral zone translates to fast breakouts and even extended ozone time. But it was interesting to look at the take of them kind of hitting the cruise control and being leafy in a way.
Yep.
Just, you have a lead, you feel good. That's a game they win all the time, especially in the playoffs. You look at their playoffs record, their series record over the past 3 years. They've only lost 1 playoff series in the last 3 years. So that's a game where they get ahead, and they usually play a nice defensive structure, but also mixing in some good forechecking as well. And they just blew a lead.
Yeah, they did.
They just flat out blew a lead.
Yep.
And I love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
I love every second of it. Tonight was the first game where the rough stuff kind of
chilled out a little bit,
which was kind of nice to see. Obviously, playoff hockey, you'd love to see the rough stuff, but it was nice to kind of get a break from that tonight. And it looked like an absolute disaster, but it was very nice to see this bulletproof hockey team with their smarmy coach blow a lead for once.
Yep.
And I know
I can't wait to read his quotes after the game.
I know it's not over, but the game 3 narrative is you took their best shot, you survived it, you got the W. Tonight was your team, your championship team just blew it. Flat out blew it. And I love it. I can't wait to hear his little lawyer-crafted quotes prepared for tonight and tomorrow.
I can't wait for it either. You know who I want to talk about right now too? Matthew Nyes. Matthew Nyes saved a goal in that game. This kid, every single game, I feel like a broken record talking about him, but every single game, every single shift, he does something out there that impresses me.
You said to me during the game that this is going to be the first game where the Leafs lose with Matthew Nyes in the lineup.
Yes, and that didn't happen.
No.
He's the good luck charm.
And he looked fast tonight.
He did.
As someone who has been critical of his foot speed, he had a couple plays tonight where he was back checking, forechecking, where he looked like he was going balls to the wall, and he did save a goal.
You know what? God, come on, fellas. This is your chance. You have this team on the ropes. They're reeling. You're coming home. Come on, boys. Come on. Just do it. Just land the kill shot, man. Land the kill shot. Oh, my God.
Don't want to get too excited, though.
Don't want to get too excited. How can you not be excited after watching that, though?
Yeah, because it's just 2 games that they would net, look at last year's series, it was kind of like this team played better than this team. It was just kind of back and forth. And then game 6 and 7 kind of went the same way it always went. But when you win 2 straight games in a row on the road against the second best home team in the NHL, and then you're going home to play the Leafs, who are the 3rd best home team in the NHL.
Here's a question for you. Mike Bunting's suspension has now been served. Will he be in the lineup for Game 5?
I don't care. I really don't care. This is a regular season topic to me. Whatever Sheldon Keefe wants to do, he can do. If he wants to take out Zach, I don't know. Matthew Nyes is not coming out of the lineup.
No.
That's facts. That's not happening. I think the way everyone predicted Matthew Nyes' playoff playing time has kind of been accurate. Sit game 1. I mean, he could have came in, he could have replaced somebody, but Bunting got suspended, so he came in on that situation. But I don't really care. about who's on the fourth line right now. I think in this series, one thing is clear that the fourth line is pretty useless. Not a factor offensively. So if you want to take him out for Aston Reese or Lafferty, I don't really care.
I think them coming back and winning this game, I think Bunting is a healthy for Game 5. I don't think Sheldon Keefe changes a thing about the lineup. That's just how he does things.
I think this third period has been different than any other period in playoff in the last 7 years because Auston Matthews showed up and acted like a big boy. And everyone else acted like a big boy. Morgan Rielly has been absolutely Europe'd all season.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I sat here and criticized Morgan Rielly all season, and I just didn't think he had a great year. He has been everybody who covers this team heading into the playoffs said the same thing, that Morgan Rielly needs to be way better. He needs to be way more of a factor. And this guy, if you want to criticize guys not elevating their games at times in this series, you cannot criticize Morgan Rielly for that. He has been just fantastic.
That kind of wrist shot from the point where you just kind of throw it at
the net. Seeing eye wrist shot.
Not too hard, not too soft, kind of just a floater.
And he's hitting the net. He's not Harry Caning at 30 feet in the air.
I feel like when Morgan gets his opportunity to shoot the puck, sometimes he tries to pick the top corner, but instead just kind of float to the middle of the point and just throw that floater wrist shot on net, or like he did the other night, he was right on against the boards through the floater wrist shot on net. I mean, what about Samsonov? Let's get to that too. I want to mention him. Was there
any goal were there any tonight that you thought were bad?
No,
I didn't think so either. No,
I think they were really awful. I thought they gave up a lot of good scoring opportunities. I mean, sometimes he is kind of an odd goalie.
He gets swimming at times.
One of my buddies who was a goalie throughout his hockey career did text me and said sometimes he does find him in weird positions in front of the net. Sometimes it looks like he gives up too much of the net, even though he's in his crease. I don't really know. Like, sometimes you look at him, it's like, well, why are you in that position? But I mean, at the end of the day, he has been making some big stops. Like, I mean, it's just so odd. No matter what player we're talking about, what situation we're talking about, it's just so odd to speak of them in this type of game and this type of result.
You're not used to it.
It's new to me and you. Like, if we came on here, I like to have a good take every now and again, but as someone who was ready to absolutely rip apart the whole franchise after the second period and then coming on here being like, they just won the hockey game, it's almost like I walked into
showed some balls. Like they didn't quit. Like, I gotta give credit to them. Like they have folded that exact game in previous years. They folded like a cheap suit. Wouldn't even come out for the third period. And like I said, I give credit to them, man, and I give credit to Auston Matthews. Led the way in the third period, and oh my God, just come on, fellas, like come on, land that kill shot,
end it.
Just end it. If you're Sheldon Keefe and you're going into that dressing room in Game 5, you're just looking around the room and saying, we may be up 3-1, but this is a must-win game for us tonight.
Absolutely.
We have to win this game tonight.
I don't think that's a bad take at all. I think if you just look at the history in general, if we want to win this series, let's do it right now. And we don't want to go back to Tampa.
We're going to get people commenting and the haters be like, oh, you're up 3-1 against the Habs. You're up 3-1 against the Habs. And it's like, okay, yes, but even though the Leafs finished higher in the standings, everyone went into this series with trepidation based on the history and what happened last year. And the Leafs, in a lot of people's eyes, were an underdog. You just had a game that you were getting shit kicked for 2 periods that you came all the way back and won. You're in the Lightning's heads now. Like, come on. Like, the psychological advantage is there. The momentum is there. Like, carry it through, gentlemen. Carry it through.
End it.
End it.
Just like this podcast.
And we're going to end it right now, too, because all we're doing is sitting here gushing back and forth and... Oh, my God.
Yeah. Now we got to wait 2 days.
Like I said, 2 days. Oh, my God. Like I said, though, if anyone ever asks you why being a fan of this team is just the craziest thing ever, show them that hockey game. That was being a Leaf fan summed up in one game right there.
I mean, I'm looking at your Twitter feed right now, and I see a lot of the first time John Cooper ever gave credit to the Leafs for anything.
Cooper, a quote from John Cooper: "You put 4 on the board. That should be a win." Again, credit to the Leafs.
There you go.
Like I said, like they gotta just. Oh my God. Anyways, we're gonna get out of here. I'm saying the same thing over and over again. There's something that's compelling to listen to. Thanks so much for checking us out, everybody. If you like what you see, hit the like and subscribe button below.
Spread the word. Tell your friends.
We really appreciate it. We will see you right back here after Game 5.